Spoiler warning regarding that battle feature on this video. Both Death Battle episodes have an extremely similar plot. Character A and character B meet each other, they get into a fight, and one of them wins. I mean, it is most of the time. Anyway, sometimes the Death Battle episode outright skip this part. They sometimes just skip the fight itself and show character A and B fighting, meaning there was no setup to the fight. So the question is why? In this video, I will try to figure out why two characters feature in the Death Battle with no setup have been fighting. Straight up, detectives start to figure out the reason behind their conflict. I will start with Wade vs Michiru. This episode features a battle between Wade Suin from internet anime series named RWBY and Michiru Kirizo from a video game Persona 3. It starts with Wade and Michiru fighting in some type of chapter, and that's about it. There is no mention during the battle regarding how these two ended up meeting a chapter and what caused them to fight in the first place. What I can gather from watching the battle animation is that Wade and Michiru seem to be never meet or know each other before fighting in this episode, as Michiru tells Wade that it is ironic that she fight against her by using the element of ice. For a specific quote,
"Fighting me with ice, ironic, and a waste of time."
Since Michiru does not know Wade's fight using the ice power, I can reasonably assume that Michiru probably does not know Wade enough, or it is her fighting style in this context of the fight. And there is no clue why these two characters are fighting. I must say the reason why they are fighting is unknown. Dragon Zord vs Mechagodzilla. This episode features a battle between Dragon Zord from Power Ranger and Mechagodzilla, Kero from Godzilla series. It featured Tommy Oliver / Green Ranger as a pilot for Dragon Zord and Akane Yashiro as a pilot for Mechagodzilla. The battle starts with Dragon Zord and Mechagodzilla fighting in some type of nuclear workstation, and that's about it in this case. There is no sign to signal why these two characters are ended up fighting. For what I can gather, at least based on the context of battle, Tommy is actively using Dragon Zord to attack Mechagodzilla, while Akane is more focused on telling Mechagodzilla to defend himself during the battle. I got the impression based on the quote spoken by Tommy and Akane during the battle, where Tommy said,
"Ha! Nice work, Dragon Zord! Let's crush this tin can!"
using Dragon Zord to destroy Mechagodzilla, while Akane simply stayed, focusing her attention to protecting Kiryu's defense. Maybe this is the evidence to prove that Dragon Zord Tommy was an aggressor in this fight? Anyway, that is not enough to find out who started this fight to begin with, so I must say the reason why they are fighting is unknown. Miles Morales vs Static. This episode featured the battle between Miles Morales, Spider-Man from the Marvel Comics, and Static from DC Comics. It starts with Static attacking Miles in the city sky during the nighttime. Unlike the previous two battles, the reason why these two characters are fighting are easier to find. In this battle, it directly states that Miles attacks Static for mistaking Static as a one electric psychopath. I got the information based on the quote spoken by Static where he stated,
"For real? You attacked me!"
while Miles responded by saying,
"Well, I got more than one electric psychopath to keep track of it."
I feel like this electric psychopath that Miles mentioned is probably a reference to Electro, a major Spider-Man villain who has the power of electricity. Anyway, the reason why these two characters are fighting are simple, as Miles made a mistake of attacking Static for confusing him as an electric villain, leading Static to attack Miles. So I say, the case is closed for this battle. Guts vs Dimitri. This episode featured a battle between Guts from manga series Berserk and Dimitri Alexander Brilliard from the Fire Emblem Treehouse. It starts with Guts and Dimitri fighting at the snowy mountain forest, bursting with lightning and flame. Based on why these two are fighting, I must say there is no clue in my opinion. The battle animated really starts with these two crashing their sword and spear to each other. What I gather in this animation is that Dimitri tried to talk to Guts, based on the quote spoken by him,
100 men strong. What drives your slaughter?
Of course, Guts refused to talk with Dimitri based on his response, where he said in his direct quote,
Save the high and mighty crap till you're dead.
So based on the information alone, maybe Dimitri is trying to stop the fight while Guts is refusing to stop. Would that make Guts as an aggressor in this fight, as described as more bloodthirsty compared to Dimitri? But Dimitri does mention that Guts is strong at 100 men, implying that he did fight Guts before animation began. Anyway, I cannot find any other hard evidence of why these two characters are fighting, so I must say the reason why they are fighting is unknown. Goku vs Superman 2023 version. This episode featured the battle between Son Goku from a manga series Dragon Ball and Superman from DC Comics. It starts with Goku and Superman crashing in the forest. Based on what I'm seeing, I said the reason why these two characters are fighting is simply sparring. Based on the quote spoken by Goku and Superman, these two are eventually sparring to figure out who is stronger. Goku, during an intro of the fight, states that it is time to settle who is stronger.
Today's the day! We'll finally settle who's stronger!
And Superman simply responds by saying,
If you say so.
and end of the fight. After Goku is defeated, Goku and Superman end the battle elimination where they promise to fight again later, where Goku said,
Yeah, it sure was. But I'll be stronger next time.
where Superman responded by saying,
I look forward to it.
heck, the battle ends by saying that they will fight again right away. When Goku say,
Let's go again.
with Superman responses by saying,
You're on.
with this friendly and warm battle between these two, I said there was no ill intent between these two, and I would say these two battles actually describe them as more friendly rival. So I say the case is closed for this battle. Ash vs Yugi. This episode featured Ash Ketchum from Pokemon, specifically the anime series 1, and Yugi Muro from manga series Yu-Gi-Oh! It starts with Ash and Yugi battling with each other using their monster at the Giant Stadium, with Ash using Pokemon while Yugi using Dual Monster. Based on what I'm saying, these two are fighting due to being in the tournament. First, the battle takes place at the Giant Stadium filled with probably more than 1,000 of spectators, specifically the Wonder Stadium, the Pokemon Stadium from Galar region. It is obvious to think that there is some type of battle tournament. And both Ash and Yugi are known for participating in a tournament in their respective canon. Ash always participates in regional league to test out his skill as a Pokemon trainer, like Indigo Prado Conference from his Kanto era. You can say same thing with Yugi too, as Yugi participate in the Dual Monster tournament named Battle City. So yeah, Ash and Yugi were during a tournament or a match that lead to battle with one another since with the logical implication. I say the case is closed for this battle. Bakugo vs Lazer. This episode featured the battle between Katsuri Bakugo from manga My Hero Academia and Lazer from manga Chainsaw Man. It featured Bakugo and Lazer fighting in the city, where two burst out from the building. I say the reason why these two are fighting is simple. Lazer was sent to assassinate Bakugo. In this battle, Lazer outright told Bakugo that she's here for his head, where she states,
I've been sent to collect your head, Dynamite.
and in the manga Chainsaw Man, Lazer was sent to kill Denji, so I say it kinda fit her character in the original source material. One interesting thing to note is that Bakugo seems to not recognize Lazer in her human form. I guess it implied that Lazer went straight up to attack Bakugo by using her demon power, rather than seducing and manipulating him first, similar to what she did to Denji during Chainsaw Man Lazer arc. Anyway, it doesn't change the fact that Lazer did try to attack Bakugo first. So I say the case is closed for this battle. Sentry vs Superboy Prime. This episode featured the battle between Sentry from Marvel Comics and Superboy Prime from DC Comics. It features Sentry and Superboy Prime fighting at the city of Metropolis, the fictional city from World of DC Comics where Superman usually lives. Unlike previous battle, it is hard to speculate what led these two characters to fight, as battle animators start with these two characters already fighting in the sky. If I have to guess, since this play takes place at Metropolis, the location that exists only in this universe, they would make Sentry as the one who comes to Superboy Prime territory in this battle. This is due to the fact that Sentry is a Marvel character. He would have fit within this universe. Of course, Sentry tells Superboy Prime to stand down, where he stayed in his code,
And he won't last much longer. Quit while you're behind, kid.
while Superboy Prime refused to stand down by responding in his direct code,
And mess up a superhero crossover? No way, Tor.
as Sentry obviously wanted to avoid the fight with Superboy Prime, as he begged to Superboy Prime to not fight him before the Void, his evil side, come to overtake him. Maybe this can be used as evidence that Sentry did not start the fight in the story of that battle. Anyway, I believe there is a lack of context to speculate what led these two to fight one another. So I must say the reason why these two are fighting is unknown. Aang vs Traveler. This episode features a battle between Aang from animated TV show Avatar The Last Airbender and the Traveler from the video game Genshin Impact. It starts with Aang and Traveler fighting by using their element power at the Eastern Air Temple, the location that exists in the world of Avatar The Last Airbender. Like the previous episode, there is no clue given on why these two are fighting in the first place. The one thing I can gather, however, is that these two are fighting at the Eastern Air Temple, the place usually associated with the Air Nomad, a tribe of people where Aang is originated from. Also, Aang did go to Eastern Air Temple during the event of the Avatar The Last Airbender, where he went to train his Avatar state. And at the end of the fight, after Traveler defeats Aang, Paimon, the companion of Traveler, comes on and asks Traveler regarding the location of treasure, where she asks,
"Way to go, Traveler! But does this mean no treasure?"
So what I can gather is, maybe Traveler went to Eastern Air Temple to find treasure, but got into conflict with Aang that led to fighting one another? But I feel like I could come up with the scenario of the context of the fight, but I cannot figure out the exact reason why they are ended up fighting. So in this case, I must say that the reason why they are fighting is unknown. In the end, I look up the 9 episodes of that battle that does not have a setup, and I try to figure out the reason that led these two characters to fight. For the episode that give enough clues on the reason why the fight was happening, I picked Mars Morales vs Static, Goku vs Superman, Ash vs Yugi, and Bakugo vs Leze. So 4 of them in total. For the episode that I feel like it does not give a clear reason why they were fighting, I picked Wade vs Mitru, Dragon Joy vs Mechagodzilla, Guts vs Dimitri, Sentry vs Superboy Prime, and Aang vs Traveler. So 5 of them in total. It's 4-5. Almost perfectly balanced. Almost. Anyway, even with all of these things to consider, I must say that it was intriguing to discover why these characters were fighting in the context of that battle. It feels like doing a detective work, exploring the case of what led this character to fight in the first place. Anyway, I think this is a beauty of that battle, as it leads viewers to think and analyze the context given in the episode. Or maybe I'm overthinking it right now, but to me it was still an interesting subject to discuss to the point I decided to make a video about it. That said, it's time to end the video. Thanks for watching.